Team took the day off today. As a matter of fact, we're going to take tomorrow off as well, trying to give them an extended break. Part of that is I think they could use a little rest. It's been quite a grind going through the Big Ten, and then also next week, the following week, we have a really, really tough schedule, going to Penn State on, I think, Thursday and coming back and having USC on a Saturday. And we needed to manage that week with as well. So that's why we're going to take a couple days off this week and give them some rest, and hopefully we'll be ready to go with Rutgers and Illinois coming in here this week. Rutgers, a team we've played once already, a team that is currently winless in the Big Ten, but a team that has, in my opinion, as I shared in here before, more talent than most Rutgers teams that we've played. I think it's more a statement of how good the league is than anything else. And then Illinois is probably the surprise team of the Big Ten Conference. They've won 9 of their last 11. The only 2 losses were to Nebraska and Wisconsin. And they're playing really, really well. They have one of the elite players in the country in Raina Terry. I don't know if she leads the world in kills, but she's got to be close. I think I read something that she has over 2,000 kills in her career. She is a fifth-year player, but she is a handful. And they've gotten some help this year, Illinois has, with a couple of freshmen that are playing extremely well out of the state of North Carolina, using a couple different systems offensively that I have seen. A libero that transferred from Eastern Illinois that's made a huge difference for them. So they're really good. And so we have 3 more home matches remaining. Is that right? Yeah, 3 more out of our 6 Big Ten matches. 3 are at home, and 2 are this week on Thursday and Sunday. Thursday we have Rutgers, Sunday we have Illinois, and then the following Saturday will be, I think, that senior night for us. That will be against the USC Trojans. So a lot of really good matches, a lot of tough matches, all matches I think that we'll be in. But how well we're prepared and how well we play will be the deciding factors. And I'll just talk about last week real quick and then turn it over to Sam. But went to Indiana on a Friday, played them on Friday down there at Wilkinson Hall. A lot of Boilermaker fans were there. It was fun to see because I wasn't sure when I heard it was sold out down there if all the IU fans got the tickets before our people had a chance, but fortunately that was not the case. We had a good group there. Won that match in 4. Lizzie Carr came off the bench and made a huge difference for us, which was great. Got good performances, I thought, from Hudson. Chacoin was good. Anyway, we played at a good level because we knew we had to. We knew that they were going to be waiting on us after our win here in front of 15,000 at Mackey Arena. So it was a really satisfactory win. And then we come back home and we play Michigan, who was another surprise team in this league, playing really, really well. And I thought they played at a high level against us. I thought we were so-so for about a game and a half, and then we played really well the last game and a half in taking care of business. And again, Lizzie Carr was good in that one. Eva had a great weekend. I would be surprised if she doesn't win some kind of an award for the weekend she had. But there's a lot of good players in this league, like 18 teams in this league now, in case you're not keeping track. So a lot of good players out there. But I was happy with the week. I think we're making progress. And with 3 weeks to go before the tournament, we just have to keep doing the same thing, keep getting better and better and better. So there you go, Sam.
I'm hoping you can kind of put into perspective a little bit for myself and for people the rarity it is to have somebody with over 1,000 swings hitting 300 on the left side. That's, not only are you getting a lot of kills, you're doing it efficiently.
She's a phenomenal player. I assume you're talking about Eva Hudson.
Yes.
Okay, because we got 2 great left side hitters, but Hudson is the one that. And again, I talked earlier in this season that we weren't playing at our level because Eva was fighting some nagging injuries. Okay, and she just couldn't get out there and just be herself. Now we're seeing Eva be Eva. And it's a very confident thing for our team to know you've got one of the best players in the country on the floor. Somebody asked me that question the other day, and I said, well, I kind of can relate to that. When I was in high school, our basketball team, we had a guy named Sam Drummer. And Sam Drummer was 6'6" and could jump out of the gym. He was a number 3 ranked high school player in the country, and behind Daryl Dawkins and somebody else. Okay, that's how good he was. So when you have that kind of a player, you know you got a chance every time you step on the floor. And I think that's a little bit like Eva. And then she competes. You know, she does not take a match off. You know she's going to be ready to go. I don't have to sit there and spend 5 minutes with her before the match to get her motivated. She's motivated. Okay, doesn't matter who we're playing. Michigan on Saturday, or Michigan Sunday, IU Friday, doesn't matter. She's ready to play. And what you haven't even talked about is her passing numbers, serve receive numbers, her defensive ability in the backcourt, and now we finally have her serve trending in the right direction. So, I mean, and that's one of the things I talked to her about, Sam, is I said, your goals are higher than being a first-team All-American. Your goals are USA volleyball, to play on the Olympic team, okay? So you have to get better in some of these areas to get there. And that got her attention a little bit, and that's narrowed her focus a little bit more on some of those things that she wasn't doing at the highest level that she could do.
I guess kind of going off of that, when Annie was here, do you put those two together and say, hey, can you talk to this girl about what it's going to take to get where you are now?
Should have. I mean, Annie talked to our entire team. I don't know if specifically if she had any conversations with her. That time will come where we can make that happen. But Eva is on track. I mean, it's not like this girl doesn't really understand what she needs to do. She understands what she needs to do. And right now, she's doing a superb job of taking care of business to get herself in that position. And she has a lot of help right now. I mean, we have a lot of people playing, I think, at a really good level. It's not good enough for us to get where we want to go, so that's why we need to continue to work.
How beneficial was it for her that she had to be a go-to player as a true freshman, and then you get these players in here to help in her sophomore and junior year?
That would be a great question for her, I think. We certainly gave her a heavy load as a freshman, and she embraced it. That's the same responsibility she's had her entire career. I mean, she's always been the go-to player, whether it was on Fort Wayne Dwenger's high school team or Pineapple or Munciana Club, whichever one she was playing with at the time. She was always a go-to player, and I think she thrives on that. I think that's who she wants to be. But I think the fact she got that experience of having to compete with 3 blockers in front of her as a freshman, you know, that is usually saved only for the elite players in the league. And as a freshman, she was seeing that. And so she had to learn. She had to learn shots. She had to learn how to compete. She had to learn how to maintain her composure and, you know, not lose her mind when things would go a little bit, you know, south on her. And right now, you know, she doesn't let many things bother her at all. And every night she shows up and competes.
And then you talked about her passing numbers. I want to ask about Taylor Anderson's passing numbers. When you have a setter averaging
Digs. Talking about digs?
Yeah, 2.3 digs per set.
Yeah.
Is that maybe higher than you would like to see out of her, or is that just?
No. I think it's phenomenal because that's a battle we fought early in getting her to play more defense. Setters in general are not great defenders, and it's not because they can't be physically. It's because emotionally they're thinking about running the offense. It's like asking a quarterback to also, you know, tackle people. You know, it doesn't happen very often unless they throw an interception and then they get hurt when they try to tackle somebody. But she has to be a great defender in our system. And that's one of the things that I think has turned our team around is that all of a sudden we knew that Allie Horning was going to play great defense, and she does. We knew that Chacoin and Hudson would be solid back there because they were that way a year ago, and now they're just better. They've just bought in completely. And then McAleer playing great right back defense. And now you've got the only other person that was left in the other right back spot making plays. She did it on Sunday. She did it on Friday. She's just making a lot of plays. And so, no, that's not a problem for her to dig balls. I mean, ideally, you'd hope that they would hit away from her so that someone else would dig it and then she would set it. But then you have to have a system in place, like all teams have, where when the setter digs that first ball, usually your libero can step in and set it, but it doesn't have to be Allie, because all of our players can come in and handle that second ball and do a pretty good job with it.
Dave, it looks like Allie's playing right now at a pretty high level. Maybe didn't start the season that way. What clicked for her, and what is she doing the best for you right now?
I just think it's been a steady work in progress for her. First year she's played libero in her life. You know, she was an outside hitter in high school. She came here and had to pay her dues. There was an O-Tech here. There was a Skimmerhorn here. And she had to wait for her opportunity. And now here she is. And so that's a lot. Libero has a lot of pressure. You know, you're passing, you're playing defense. And defense has always been naturally pretty good for her. She's just got great feet. She's got great reaction time. She's a really good defender. She's as good of a left back defender as we have in our league. You know, Rodriguez up at Nebraska is extremely good. But after that, I don't know who I would put, you know, even in the same classification with her, right, without really thinking through it. Then her serving has gotten better. You know, she used to not really focus that much on serving, didn't understand the value of it, and now she does. You can just see an evolution in her focus, her maturity as a player on the floor, and the buy-in again to helping our team become really, really good.
You mentioned Lizzie. She slid in the last couple of matches in where Kenna Woolard was. When you've got a situation like Kenna, who's played most of the season, now is on the bench, how difficult is that for her to stay ready to go mentally, and how would you have to talk to her to keep her boosted and make sure that she's ready to go when her number's called?
Yeah, I've had a lot of conversations with both those players in the past this season, helping both of them stay engaged and understand how well that they are playing. Just lately, Kenna's just had a hard time getting off to a good start, and it's because she wants to get off to a good start so bad that she's putting some of that, I think, extra pressure on herself, and it just hasn't worked out, you know, the way that she wants. And then when given the opportunity, both in practice and in matches, Lizzie Carr has been really good. And so we felt yesterday that Lizzie had earned that opportunity, and so we gave it to her. I think both of those people are going to be fine in that position from match to match. And if one of them, sometimes it's not because one of them's not playing well. We only have a few changes that we can make on our team. Okay, I mean, every coach, no matter what sport, there's a few adjustments you can make. We don't have a lot of depth, okay, in the front row. So there's only maybe one or two things we can do. One of those is we can replace our right side player and not have a significant drop, you know, when we do that, and hopefully get a lift, which is what we have gotten here from time to time. So, yeah, there'll be conversations with both those people, but they're both great teammates, and I think that they're going to understand that they'll get their opportunities. And I want to make sure they both do continue to get opportunities, because otherwise they get a little stale. And then when you do need them in a big match in the NCAA tournament, they're not ready to go. So we're going to make sure we keep both of them active.
And I'm sure going into a season as a coach, you have an idea of where you want to be in month one, month two. Are you where you expected to be with this team here in the middle of November?
I think so. I think we're going to find out in the next few weeks. You know, when you look at what our schedule was, you know, we got the only top 10 teams we played in the Big Ten found a way to beat us, okay? Some other teams that were, you know, 10 through 20, we managed to beat, and then everybody else. So it's until we find a way to beat some of those teams, it's hard to say. From my look, from what I'm seeing, I feel like we're where we need to be, and we know the things that we need to improve on. Our serve-receive has improved dramatically. That's been the number one goal here as of the last month, and we've seen great progress. And we feel like now that we're passing the ball at a high level, we've climbed the charts to where we're about the 6th best passing team in the league, after at one point in time we were like 14th. So in that amount of time, we've really done a great job. Our offense should be cooking. You know, that means the ball is being laid in there to the setter to where they've got Eva, Chloe, Raven, Lourdes, whoever our right side player might be, people flying out of the back row, a 6'1" setter that can dump the ball. So we feel like if we're passing the ball, we're going to be really good. Our defense is solid. Our block probably needs a little bit of work. We're trying to stay on top of the blocking, We're not a huge team in some spots. I mean, Raven's the top blocker in the Big Ten, but she's 6 foot ½ inch. So sometimes it's getting her in the right spot for her to be able to do what she can do. But I would say that I'm okay with where we are right now, but we've got work to do.